Is Band 6 a good score? Is Band 7 really that difficult? And what does Band 8 actually mean in real life? Also, what happens if you get something like 6.25? If you've ever been confused about IELTS band scores, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to explain everything in a very simple way so that by the end, you'll clearly understand what your score means and what you should aim for. And trust me, they will save you a lot of confusion during your preparation. So, before we start, let me tell you something important. Many students spend months preparing for IELTS, but they don't even fully understand how scoring works. And because of that, they prepare in the wrong way. So, understanding band scores is not just theory, it actually affects your result. Let's start with the basics. In IELTS, your English level is measured using something called a band score. This band score ranges from 0 to 9. 0 means you didn't attempt the test at all, and 9 means you are an expert user of English. You can use the language fluently and accurately in almost any situation. So, think of this scale as a ladder. The higher you go, the better your English becomes. Now, here's something that confuses a lot of students. IELTS does not have a pass or fail system. Let me repeat that. You don't pass IELTS and you don't fail it. You simply get a score. And based on that score, universities or countries decide if you meet their requirement. So, instead of asking, did I pass IELTS? You should ask, what band score do I need? Now, let's understand how your score is calculated. IELTS tests you in 4 skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Each of these skills is scored separately from 0 to 9. So, after your test, you will have 4 different scores. For example, you might be better at listening but weaker in writing, and that's completely normal. Now comes the overall band score. Your final score is the average of all 4 skills. Let's take a real example. Imagine you get listening 7, reading 6.5, writing 6, speaking 7. Now we calculate the average. When we do that, your overall band score becomes around 6.5. So here's the important point. Even one weak skill can pull your total score down. That's why focusing on only one section is a mistake. Now, let's talk about something very important, the rounding system. A lot of students don't understand this, but it can actually affect your final result. Your overall band score is always rounded to the nearest half band or whole band. Let me explain clearly. So, if your score is 6.25, it becomes 6.5. And if your score is 6.75, it becomes 7. But if your score is 6.12, it becomes 6. Now, what about something like 6.35? This is a very common question. In this case, your score will be rounded to 6.5 because it is closer to 6.5 than 6. So, what does this mean for you? It means even a small improvement in one section can increase your overall band score. And sometimes that small increase can make a big difference in your future. Now, let's understand what these band scores actually mean. You've probably seen numbers like 6, 7, or 8, but what do they really present? Let's simplify it. Band 5 means basic, Band 6 is competent, Band 7 means that you are a good user of English, Band 8 means you are a very good user, while Band 9 means you are an expert. But these definitions are still a bit abstract. So let's break them down in real life terms. If you are at Band 5 or 6, you can communicate in English but not very smoothly. You make frequent grammar mistakes, your vocabulary is quite limited, and sometimes people may need to ask you to repeat or clarify. This is where many students start, and it's okay, but it's not enough for most universities. Now, Band 6.5 to 7. This is the most important range. At this level, you can communicate clearly. You can express your ideas in a structured way. You can talk about more complex topics. Yes, you still make some mistakes, but they don't affect understanding too much. This is why Band 7 is considered a good level. Now, let's talk about Band 7.5 and above. At this level, your English becomes much more natural. You speak fluently without hesitation. You use a wide range of vocabulary, and your grammar is strong and flexible. Mistakes are very rare. This level requires real English ability, not memorized answers. Now, what band score should you aim for? For most universities, the requirement is between 6 and 7. For more competitive programs, it is usually 7 or higher. So, always check your requirement first because your target decides your strategy. Now, let's talk about a common problem. Why do so many students get stuck at band 6 or band 6.5? There are four main reasons: weak grammar, limited vocabulary, lack of fluency, poor structure in writing. These small problems stop you from reaching Band 7. And here's the truth: Band 7 is not about learning tricks, it's about improving your English. You don't need shortcuts, you need better skills. So, what should you do? Practice daily, focus on your weak areas, get feedback, and use English in real life. That's how you actually improve. So, if you want to improve your IELTS speaking band score, I have already uploaded detailed speaking videos on this channel, and I'll also be uploading IELTS writing, reading, as well as listening. So, stay tuned, make sure you check them out, and if this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe for more IELTS content.